Hey everyone, today we're going to take a look at this 2021 Kia Seltos. So the Seltos is Kia's all-new subcompact SUV. It's one of the bigger subcompact SUVs. That subcompact crossover segment is kind of split up into two different sub-segments. On the smaller end, you've got vehicles like the Toyota CHR, the Honda HR-V, the Jeep Renegade, the Hyundai Kona, and a handful of others. And then in this larger subcompact segment are vehicles like the Seltos, the Subaru Crosstrek, the Nissan Rogue Sport, and the Jeep Compass, among a few others. So let's take a look at the Seltos exterior, we'll look at the interior, and then I'll give some more of my thoughts. So Kia's been going for a more upscale aesthetic as of late, and the Seltos fits that, I would say. It's got design elements of larger SUVs, maybe compact or midsize. To me, it looks bigger than it really is. Like the front end, for example, just looks bigger. It looks more like what you'd find on a compact or midsize SUV. Moving down the side, a design element that I really like are these red center caps, or at least the red trim on these center caps. Wheels are 18 inches here. Come out pretty far. They're good looking wheels. This is a fully loaded example. It costs about $28,000, so these aren't the wheels that you'd find on lesser trim levels, but either way they look pretty good. Another nice stylistic touch is the use of this brushed aluminum finish. You can see it runs along the base of the windows, and then it's also used on the door handles here. And then it also extends to the grille where it's also textured. Moving down the side, this one has a two-tone exterior, so the roof is black while the rest of the car is this bright green, yellow, limey color. This one's all-wheel drive, so all-wheel drive comes standard on all trim levels except for the base model, so that's a nice value add right there. The black trim down the side of this thing kind of allows it to look a little bit more athletic than it really is. You can see that there's not a ton of ground clearance. The wheel arches aren't quite as big as they look to be on first glance, but still, like I said, 18-inch wheels, decent SUV. It's kind of got some boxy design elements. I won't go so far as to call it a boxy SUV like the Jeep Renegade, but it's decent design. It's hard to make these car-based subcompact SUVs look really interesting, and I think Kia's done a pretty good job. Let's check out the cargo area. Here you can see more of that brushed aluminum trim. So electronic release, but it's not a power tailgate. And then not a lot to see back here. Sometimes you'll find more hooks and outlets and tie downs, and not much of that here in the Seltos. There is a speaker and a light, and that's really about it. One thing I noticed, so I was looking at this, and it says maximum load 130 pounds, and it got me wondering why there'd be a load limit on a rear load floor like this, and then I realized that it's because this is actually a two-tiered setup. So right now it's on its higher setting. The floor can actually lower and raise. So it's on its higher position right now, so it makes loading things easier because it's higher up. And then you can actually lower it. You just grab this, and I tried this before making the video, and I was able to do it with one hand. So you can just drop it down there. The spare tire's underneath here. And then the load floor is lower, so it's not as easy to get things in and out, but you gain about 4 inches of additional cargo depth there. So this is a cargo cover. It's kind of nice, actually. It's rigid, pretty sturdy, and you can see it operates on that pivot point there, and then the back parts of it hang off of the rear hatch here. Nice grab handle. You can get your hand all the way around it right here. Yeah, that's pretty easy to use. Badging on here, you can see the Seltos badge, and then, like I said, this is a loaded SX model, and it's got the turbocharged engine, which we'll get to momentarily here. Passive keyless entry, activated via this button here for locking and unlocking. Easy to use. Okay, it's pretty hot outside today, so let's get this thing turned on and get the air conditioning going. So I'm standing here waiting for this thing to cool down, and I noticed another interesting design element. The roof rails come back to a point like this. So they're attached, well, I guess they might be attached all the way through, but then they have this little fin on them right here. I don't know if you can see that there. Okay, I think it's probably cooled down in there. So, an interesting feature here is that the vehicle actually turns off after 30 minutes, so you can't accidentally leave it on. Here's a look at the window sticker. It's really nicely laid out, I must add. This is one of the nicest window stickers I've come across. So you can see, this is a 2021 Kia Seltos, top-of-the-line SX Turbo all-wheel drive model, and that crazy bright exterior color is referred to as Starbright Yellow. Pricing on this thing, I was a little off before. It's actually, as equipped, $29,485. So just a hair under $30K for this thing. These subcompact SUVs are usually pretty humble, but this one comes with decent feature mix, but you're paying for them. It's just a hair under $30,000. Fuel economy is 25 miles per gallon city, 30 highway, and 27 combined. Keep in mind that that comes with all-wheel drive and a 175 horsepower, 195 pound-foot of torque, 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. So you get pretty good power out of this thing and all-wheel drive, so that 27 miles per gallon combined figure is not too bad, honestly. 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. It's the same powertrain that you can get in the Hyundai Kona. A lot of active safety tech. Pretty nicely equipped. You can see that this one has the 10.25-inch center infotainment screen. Hyundai and Kia's infotainment setups are pretty nice. You've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay in this thing. It's pretty easy to use. It's intuitive. Redundant buttons down here along the bottom. Pretty sharp. There's also a screen in the gauge cluster here. You've got different drive modes, and so this is your drive mode selector. You've got normal, smart, which is an economy mode, and then sport, which makes your shift points and throttle a little bit more aggressive. Pop it into reverse here so you can look at the rear view camera. Quality's decent, not the best, but also a lot better than what you get in some vehicles that cost twice as much as this. Down here, you've got heated seats in this one, a locking center differential, so that locks the vehicle into all-wheel drive. So if you're in a low traction situation, like snow or sand or really anything other than pavement, you'll want to pop on this center lock button that'll give you slightly greater capability. There's also a hill descent control. They have a nice mix of gloss and matte finishes in here. We'll start over on this door. So this is a hard plastic. Yeah, it's hard plastic, not much more to say about it. This is another hard plastic, but it's finished in a gloss black, and then there's more of that brushed aluminum finish here. Speaker grates are kind of fun. They have this triangular pattern stamped into them, so I'll open this door and you can see this one a little bit better. So Bose audio in this top spec model, and then there's this like triangle pattern all through the grate here. Plastic grate, a little flimsy, but that's what you get in a subcompact. Dashboard, hard plastic, about what you would expect. This is kind of nice. This is a vinyl, and it actually does have some stitching in it. Seats have a hexagonal pattern in them. Again, this is an imitation leather, more like a vinyl, but the seats are perforated and they have this hexagon pattern. On the center console, you've got an electronic parking brake with an automatic hold mode. Center console box, not a whole lot to see. It's really just a box, only one tier to it. Up front, you've got a 12-volt outlet, USB, and then another USB port there. Oh, and a wireless charging pad. Right there, I almost missed that, but that resides right here. Yeah, easy to overlook that. Automatic climate control, again, pretty intuitive layout here. Your hazards button, let's take a listen to that. Okay, decent. Not as nice as Mazda's hazard buttons, but decent. No sunroof, that is one thing that stood out to me. A vehicle costing almost $30,000. You'd expect it to have a sunroof, but a lot of times these subcompact SUVs are designed with developing markets in mind, and things like sunroofs aren't as common in those countries as they are in the US, so you'll find these vehicles with no sunroof. Touch sensitivity to the lights right here. Let's hop in the back seat and take a look there. One thing you'll notice, the window frames are really angular on this thing. So there's a really sharp angle in the window there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. Oh, only the driver's window is one touch up and down. The other ones you have to hold the button for them to open and close. Climbing into the back seat, and you can see there's a decent amount of room back here. There's where the seat is if I'm driving, and you can see, yeah, I don't feel too cramped. Feels like there's more room back here than the distance between my knee and the seat back would imply. Floor is not flat, so there's a decent sized hump right there. You get a USB outlet, no USB-C, just a USB-A, and then a little storage cubby here so you could plug your phone in via cable and then stick it right there to charge. Seat back pocket on the passenger seat, nothing on the driver's seat. And beyond that, not much else to see. Same design to the back door panels as in the front. And then cup holders in your center armrest here. And that's really about it. Nice big square windows. So visibility in the back seat isn't too bad. Yeah, I can say this thing would be just fine for hauling around backseat passengers fairly regularly. All right, going for a little drive in the Seltos here, and first I want to point out this one has the more powerful of two available engines. The base engine is a 2-liter basic 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, that puts out 146 horsepower and 132 pounds-feet. This one comes with the turbocharged 1.6-liter 4-cylinder that makes 175 horsepower and 195 pounds-feet. So this one, I've driven it a little bit already, and I can say that it makes plenty of power. Another thing that's noteworthy about the Seltos is that it feels bigger than it is. Cabin is pretty spacious. The greenhouse is upright. Like I said, it's not quite a boxy SUV like the Kia Soul, but it certainly makes the most of its footprint. So I wouldn't call it fast, but I definitely wouldn't call it slow. So for most people, it has plenty of power. If you're looking for more power than what this offers, you're probably better served by another vehicle segment altogether. Sounds are pretty nice. Turn signal is a nice, subtle clinking noise. Overall, this vehicle is a pretty decent package. You get all-wheel drive, a turbo, pretty nice transmission. Shift it manually here. Yeah, shifts are pretty quick. Different drive modes, so sport, normal, eco mode. Most of us would do the vast majority of our driving in normal mode, but those different modes are there if you want them. Price on this one is pretty high, about $30,000 is a lot for a small vehicle like this. At that price point, I think a lot of buyers should also look to the used market to see if you might find a nicely equipped compact SUV that's bigger than this and comes with more features and a little bit nicer, more sophisticated ride and nicer powertrain and all that. With a vehicle this small, they are a little bit rougher than like a compact SUV like a Honda CR-V or a Toyota RAV4. So I think to buy one of these new, you definitely have to value the newness of it. And another thing worth mentioning is Kia's warranty is the best in the industry alongside their sister company Hyundai. Kia and Hyundai both offer a 5-year, 60,000 mile basic warranty. So most competitors come with just a 3-year, 36,000 mile basic warranty. So you get what, 66% more warranty coverage, more basic warranty coverage, and then a 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, while most competitors offer just a 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain warranty. So that is a benefit of buying a new Hyundai or Kia product, because it's a pretty incredible warranty, which, especially if you're going to keep it for a long time, could come in handy down the road. So I think that about sums up the Seltos. This is a pretty competitive segment, and like I said, If you're looking at small SUVs, you're probably looking at the subcompact segment today. Compact SUVs used to be compact, but they've grown in size over the years. Hence the reason automakers have introduced this new subcompact segment. So a subcompact SUV today is about the size of a compact SUV from 12 or 15 years ago. Yeah, keep in mind the smaller subcompact class is pretty small. I think most people will find that this bigger subcompact class of vehicles like the Seltos is a little more functional. I think most people would like the extra space. And altogether, this is a semi-premium feeling offering. It's still an economy car like all the others. And it's still not quite as nice as like the Mazda CX-30, which is another subcompact SUV. But, killer warranty, really great screens, good technology. It's got a presence visually on the inside and definitely on the outside. And altogether, definitely a worthy competitor within the popular subcompact SUV segment. So, I think that's about it on the Seltos. Thank you for watching.